for more on the state of French athletics 1 year ahead of the Olympics, I'm joined now by French Olympic sprinter Ayodelé Ikuesan. Thank you so much, Ayodelé, for speaking to us. You're also a member of the Athletes Commission of the French Olympic Committee, which is a commission representing athletes. Before we get to that meeting today, how do you explain what happened at the Worlds this year? What went wrong?
Good afternoon, and thank you for the invitation. I think there's a lot of things that went wrong. The first thing is that we have a difficulty in France with the place of sport in the society, and you have a lot of athletes that need to work and train at the same time. So it's not the best conditions to compete and to win medals in the World Championships. And I do believe that we should seize this opportunity to bring all parties involved together, like in the national conferences on track and field, so that athletes, the government, public authorities, and also association representatives, volunteers, everyone, we should put everyone together and just think about and talk about what happened if we want to succeed, not only in Paris, but in the coming years, because I think the issues, there's multiple issues, and we can't be happy with winning only one medal ahead of the Olympics next year. I'd like to say we shouldn't blame the athletes, because I've read a lot of things in the social media where people were saying that athletes are not competitive enough, and they were not enough. They didn't put enough heart in the competition. I think it's more complicated than that.
So given that, do you think it was important to have this meeting today with the sports minister, and do you think anything will come out of it?
For the Olympics?
Yes.
I think it's a bit late. I think it's a bit late because the Olympics is next year, and we saw, like, for example, the English Athletics Federation, they worked like 8 to 10 years before the Olympics to have the results they had in London 2012. But it's still an opportunity to think about this issue and to find solutions for the coming years, because if we don't seize this opportunity, then there won't be any improvement, and nothing will change in the coming years in track and field.
Well, let's pick apart these societal problems in France in regard to track and field, as you're saying. For example, kids in schools, are they active enough? Are they getting involved in sports enough?
No, not enough. We have like a study that said that in over 40 years, the teenagers, they've lost 1/4 of their cardiovascular capacities in France, and children are practicing less sport in school. So it's a global issue. Of course, we still need to work also on the fact on having more sport, on doing more sport at school, and then we can maybe have more champions. But right now, yes, there is this question and this issue also in school where children do not practice enough.
There's another issue that perhaps people, for example, in the United States, where I'm from, might not understand, is that in France, you do not do sports that often at school. You have to go outside of the school system to clubs to participate in sports. Does that cause a problem, do you think?
Yes, it causes a problem when you finish, like you go into university. In the US, so you have the university, and everything is organized in order to facilitate facilitate the athletes so that they could do their sport and they can do their studies, and they can do both at the same time, and it's not difficult. In France, it's quite different. It depends on the university, and more often you have to go and train at the end of the day, and so you have like two timetable. You have your studies and the sports besides. So it's not helpful, and you have more and more athletes that just choose to continue their studies instead of continue practicing our high-level sport, because they don't have the time to do both. So it's the American system. It's quite helpful, and when you finish the university, you succeed in sport and you have a degree with you.
What about track and field compared to other sports? Are things particularly difficult for athletics?
Yeah, it's difficult because it's a non-professional sport, in France. So which means that we don't have a salary. So you have those clubs with a lot of volunteers, and so you don't have any incomes. For most of the athletes, like for example, two members of the 4x4 relay, silver medalists in the World Championships, don't have any employment. So which means that they don't have a lot of incomes to pay their bills and anything. So this is an issue that a lot of athletes are facing right now, which explains that you have a lot of athletes that just stop practicing track and field.
Ayodelé, you said you think it's a little too late for French athletics for the Olympics next summer. But what about you personally? Are you hoping to take part?
Yeah, I'm hoping to take one. I have 2 children, so I'm coming back from this, and I'm training to come back, and I'm working at the same time. So it's not easy, but it's important for me to be at the Olympics next year in Paris, and I'm doing everything that I can to be there.
All right. Well, here's wishing you the best of luck with that. We hope we'll see you there out on the field next summer. Thank you so much.
Thanks so very much.
Ayodelé Ikuesan speaking to me there, French Olympic sprinter, also a member of the Athletics Commission on the French Olympic Committee.